Welcome, everybody, to the Wise Guys Sports Betting Podcast. My name is Ross Benjamin. I'm your host, and we're airing right now on the Picks and Parlays YouTube channel, and I'm joined by fellow Picks and Parlays handicappers, Mr. Sean Higgs and Mr. Jesse Schule. And March is upon us, guys. It's Tuesday, March the 12th as we speak, but we're talking NBA today. You know, we're going to change it up a little bit. We haven't got into the meat and potatoes yet of the power conference tournaments. Some games going on today in the ACC. But in any event, we're talking Minnesota Timberwolves versus the LA Clippers, the Milwaukee Bucks versus Sacramento Kings, and the Indiana Pacers and Oklahoma City Thunder. All three games very competitive with quality teams. Looking forward to talking about that. But without further ado, Sean, how are you?
Pretty good. I know this is an NBA show, but I love my college hoops. I had a 4-1 day yesterday in college basketball, and I'll give you not that I don't know if this show will be up in 20 minutes, but I got Davidson at 11:30. I think goes off. Is that the early game, Davidson? I believe.
Yeah,
I'm ready. I love some college
11:30 a.m. Eastern time. Correct. Yeah. So Sean's always ready. He's firing from the time he wakes up out of bed until the time he goes to sleep. I don't know when the guy sleeps because he does so many podcasts, especially a couple of his own right here on this network. So, Jesse, it's your time of year. It's our time of year. What do you say?
Yeah, no, things are going according to schedule for me. I've been just treading water the last week, 10 days or so. But if you look at the leaderboards, I'm still where I want to be. I believe at picksandparlays.net, the number one NBA handicapper for 2024, just by a very slim margin. And that's a day-to-day thing. But as much as I'm frustrated by the NBA, as Sean likes to say, I still try to come up with a play every day for the NBA because I know people love betting on it, and I'm still able to find some value here and there, and I think I got some for this show. I'm excited about my picks on this show.
All right, we'll get to that in a second. 65-40 for me with my NBA sides, good for 63 or 64% in that area over the last, since last April. Also, college basketball totals cooled off a little bit, but still 61% over the last 2 years with my college basketball totals over at picksandparlays.net. If you're with me last March Madness, the NCAA tournament specifically from round 2 on, I made a killing. So you want to keep an eye on that. And you could find all three of us at picksandparlays.net, folks. Investing money in all three of us is exactly that. You're investing money, pay a little bit to make a lot with myself, Ross Benjamin, Sean Higgs, and Jesse Schule over at picksandparlays.net. Jesse, the Minnesota Timberwolves and the LA Clippers tonight in LA. The Clippers right now a 6.5-point favorite and a total 215. Take it away, my friend.
Well, Ross, you might remember me saying coming out of the All-Star break, you can expect these astronomical totals to trend downward. Scoring will come down after the All-Star break as teams get ready for the playoffs. And that's been on full display since the break, really, especially between these two teams. The last meeting about just over a week ago, the Clippers win in Minnesota by a score of 89-88, talking about turning back the clock. And no, I'm not talking about daylight savings. I'm talking about old school NBA that me and Sean Higgs like to watch in the 1990s. And can they do it again here in LA? The total opened at 218.5 for this game. It's been bet down to 215. I don't know anybody who wants to bet the over here. These teams have gone under in 6 of the last 7 head-to-head meetings. I do think at this time of year, with playoff spots and playoff positioning on the line, you will see more intense defense being played in games involving teams like these two teams, playoff teams that are capable of playing defense. Minnesota is the best defensive team, or certainly top 2 or 3 in the NBA. But I'm not looking at the side. I'm not looking at the total. When you got teams scoring points, putting up points totals like it's the 1990s, I'm going to look at player props because player props are based on season averages. and season averages are based on totals of 230 plus. And we got a total here of 215. That's 15 fewer points that get to spread around with all these players. That means less points, less assists, not less rebounds, because in a low scoring game, there should be plenty of rebounds to go around. But I'm looking at Anthony Edwards, his points assists total tonight, 34.5. So we've got to ask ourselves, what is Anthony Edwards average on the season in these games where the total's 230? He averages 26.3 points per game, 5 assists per game. That's 31.3. That's a lot less than 34.5. I wonder why that is. In the game last week against the Clippers, 27 points, 2 assists. In 3 games against the Clippers this year, average of 27.7 points and 5.3 assists, well short of that 34.5. Simple mathematics for me, Ross. I'm going under 34.5 in a game that's projected to be a low-scoring defensive battle.
Like I say, numbers don't lie and liars don't figure. And, you have to be a good numbers guy when you do this for a living. And it's all about beating a number, folks. So if you have to count over 10 and you have to take your shoes off to do that, I would suggest you start buying picks from us, because we're all good on the mathematics side as well. So Jesse likes Anthony Edwards, combination of points and assists to go under 34.5 in the Minnesota and Clippers game. Sean, the Bucks and the Kings. Now I have a total in this game that's up for sale right now at picksandparlays.net. So I'm going to be limited in my opinions on this contest, but I'm sure Jesse and Sean will have a lot to say. But any event, Sean, it's your official pick for us. And right now, the Bucks are a 1.5 point favorite, and the total in this contest is 225.5. So take it away, my man.
Muted, Sean. He's drinking soda again.
My dream.
No, I had a cough.
Sean's talking and we can't hear him. It's
I coughed and then I forgot to hit the mute button, unmute.
Yeah.
Like Jesse said, I'm not a huge NBA guy, right? No betting allowed regular season. Tough guys out, back to back. Who's playing today? We do shows at 10, 11, 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Although somehow I've managed a 27-22 record, so I'm about 55% in NBA. I try to find a spot like this, so get a sign of game. A pretty simple thinking here. I dig into this one. This is their 9th road game in 11 days, and they're favored. I just don't like. I'm going to take a Kings team that's 5, like they're 3-4 the last 7. They're not playing that well, but they're off a bad loss to Houston. You don't lose to Houston, but this is what this team does to Kings. They could beat the Lakers. They could beat the Bucks. They could beat the Clippers, beat a bunch of good teams, and then they lay eggs against the bottom tier teams. So I'm going to take the Kings here, little home doggy. I think it's a good spot for them. Again, they play up. They beat the Minnesotas. They beat the Lakers. They beat the Clippers. I mean, they beat Denver. But hi, let's go. Talk about playing down the competition. Well, the Bucks are not a play down the competition kind of squad. They are an elite team, a top team out of the East. So I'm saying Kings to get it done here at home. You want to go money line? You go money line. I don't care what Kings are winning, so it doesn't make a difference what they're getting.
All right. So Sean likes the Sacramento Kings plus 1.5 in this contest. And you know what? He makes a good point, Jesse. The Kings seem to play up to the competition and down to the competition. My play in this game is going to be on the total, and you can get that at picksandparlays.net right now. But in any event, Jesse, what's your take here? The Bucks, they seem to go through a string where they won 6 in a row and they were playing stout defense, sort of tapered off in the last 3. Is that the result of this long, grueling road trip they're on?
Yeah, no, Sean makes an excellent point about the road trip and the bad spot for the Bucks, and a seemingly favorable spot for the Kings. But I got to say, this Kings team has been one of the biggest disappointments this year. They were so good last year, great in the playoffs, and such high expectations coming into this season. They grabbed the EuroLeague MVP, and I thought that was going to be a big thing for them, but he's been a complete bust, or hasn't been able to even get any playing time. And as you guys both mentioned, the Kings are just so inconsistent, hot and cold. I can't really bet on them even with Sean Higgs money, so I got to pass on this game.
And Sean Higgs says, I ain't got no money. So you're not
Oh,
taking a
he's
big
big time.
risk.
He's got a bunch
Yeah,
of
I
10
know he's
pump
big time. I
subscriptions.
know he's big time, but I know that's going to be his response. So I beat him to the punch. Sean, any retort to that? Since it's your
I might actually inject this into the site plays today because when I do the free picks, I don't want to give out just something as a lean. Like sometimes we have a lean on something because we don't like a game, but other
yeah,
times you look at something and be like, you know what? I might have not looked at this because it's tournament time. And I'm
yeah.
not looking at NBA during tournament. I mean, these lines come up for college basketball tournaments. They're all night long. You got to be on them. But looking at this, you know what? I like the Kings. They play up the teams, they play down to teams, and I have a team with again nine, 11 road games, 9 road games in the last 11. That's crazy. I mean, look at this. You get a home game. You're on the road every other day. It's just a bad spot. These guys are humans. Come on, flat spot.
Yeah.
And they're off a win. And they lost to the Lakers. They beat the Clippers. And now they're playing the Kings. The Kings just lost to the Rockets, but they beat the Lakers before that. I'm
So
playing this. My money will be on the Kings.
All right.
Money will be on the Kings.
All right. The Kings plus the 1.5 at home against the Milwaukee Bucks. I did make a mistake, folks. The total in this game is 235, not 225. My error there. So upon further clarification, I hope you guys ain't mad at me because sometimes, boy, oh boy, if you're not correct about everything you say, you get attacked on occasion, and it comes with the territory. In any event, I'm going to look at the game between the Oklahoma City Thunder as they will be hosting the Indiana Pacers tonight. Two teams are high-scoring teams. This total opened at 236, and it went to 240.5, Jesse. I, like you said, these numbers are starting to come down. And to me, the sports books made the proper adjustment, opening this at 236, and it's been bet up to 240.5. Oklahoma City has played 6-2 to the under in their last 8, 230.1 points per game, well under what this total is right now. And Indiana's played 5-1 to the under in their last 6, 7-2 to the under in the last 9. And here's the other thing. Indiana, when there's been a total of 245.5 or less, they played under 6 consecutive times in a row and 9 of their last 10 when the number has been in that parameter. This is an Oklahoma City team that's, they're known for their high scoring offense and offensive prowess, but you look at defensively, and let's consider this total is 240.5. They've allowed 120 or less in 11 of their last 12. They've allowed 110 or less in 7 of their last 10. And in their last 5 at home, the Oklahoma City Thunder has allowed 107 points or fewer on each occasion. And this is an Indiana team. They're well known for their high-scoring offense, been number 1 in the NBA in scoring offense for the majority of the season. But they've only scored 111 points or fewer in 4 of their last 5 games. I'm going to say there's good that's going to help me. That going to 240.5. I trust the odds makers opening number of 236 more so than the public money that's got it up to 240.5. I'm going to go Indiana and Oklahoma City under 240.5. Jesse.
Ross, now you speak of my language. It warms my heart to hear you talk like that about the total in this game. I couldn't agree more. You said it all. I will point out that it did get bet up to 242 earlier overnight. Some of us are quite sharp and we see things like that. And you can read into that whatever you want if you're trying to read into what I might have in this game. But I like everything you got to say about this game, Ross.
All right, Sean, your take.
I'm not a huge NBA total guy, so I would just probably lean to the Pacers here. So that's just my thought. Again, for me, no betting allowed unless it's a free pick that I had to dig into. So
yeah. All right. So Sean has a lean toward the Pacers plus 6.5. Sean says he doesn't give out leans on free picks. What the bottom line is on this show and some of the others we do, and I can't mention the network we're on, it would be unprofessional on my part, but we get assigned picks. So sometimes we're boxed into a corner. We got to come up with something for that particular game because we're doing high profile games. Now, Sean, in its other format, Midday Money, and the show you do late at night, he's able to pick out games and give them away free that he actually likes. So keep that in mind, folks, when you're watching this broadcast and this show. If you really want to make money, you're going to go to picksandparlays.net and buy from any one of us, Sean Higgs, Ross Benjamin, Jesse Schule. We told you how well we're doing, and it's not just in the short term, it's over the long term. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel here, take a second to do so. It's absolutely free. And Jesse, there's a like button underneath. What would you like the folks to do with that like button as a token of appreciation for the work we put into doing this podcast?
Ross, I'd like them to strongly consider smash that like button.
Smash that like button. So we'll be back next Tuesday with another edition of the Wise Guys Sports Betting show. And for Sean Higgs, Jesse Schule, and Ross Benjamin, take care and God bless, folks.
Bye.